Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the Vicki Boutin design team, and this week we're working our memories of summer to create a project. For my project, I am using a picture of my cousin. She came from Ecuador to visit last year during the summer heat wave here in Toronto, and I feel really bad because we are from the mountains, which means we are used to a cooler climate in our part of the world, and it was really hard for them. But along the way, she had so much fun and she was really good at taking selfies. So I'm gonna document a picture that I took of her taking a selfie with my niece. So what I've done outside of the camera is actually added gesso to one of the foundation papers, and I'm gonna use my wedge to add to create my background. So I know Vicky has created something similar on a Facebook Live a couple sessions ago, and I'm gonna use some of her ideas to create my background. So first of all, I am mixing a little bit of the watercolor marker with iridescent paint. And the iridescent paint is just iridescent glaze that I had a little container and I added a little bit of water to it, so I have it ready to go. So my idea is I'm just gonna drag the pigment. For this, all I'm gonna do is deposit the pigment where I want to start the line and use the wedge to drag it in one single motion. Now, because it's such a light application and I have yes on the background, the color is gonna be really faint. So my choice was to add some of the watercolor straight onto the page. Remember, I have yes on the background, and drag it with the wedge. And that's going to give me a deeper, I'm going to say not as light application of the color. And it's going to show. So my choice is going to be to add pinks, corals, yellow, oranges to the background, and a little bit of green. So for example, right now, along the way, I learned a few things that I just happen, and now I have in my mind what's gonna happen is, for example, in the red that I just added, I think it's actually cotton candy. I added a little bit of the color first and then added water on top of it and dragged it to create the bleach effect. And another thing, well, I knew already, is that, and why it's so important to swatch your product, is that I know some of the paints, the watercolor markers and also the watercolor react differently when you add them to yes. For example, sugar, strawberry, I can't remember the name of the orange tone, plum pudding, they tend to have a neon look when you add them to yeso compared to when you add them to plain paper. So it's always good to swatch your products on all the types of papers that you're going to use, so you have an idea of what it's going to look like, because you want to make sure that the end result is what you have in mind. So now going back to the layout, you're going to see that, like, again, I worked out all the warm tones that went from that orange to pink to yellow to orange. I add some splatters along the way, and now I'm going to bring, this is a mint julep. I want to bring some of the greens without being too cool. I want to have some warm greens, so I added a little bit of mint julep, and then I'm gonna finish my little dragging session with juicy pear. And that's pretty much all it's gonna take to the background. You're gonna see that along the way I'm gonna add some of the iridescent paint, mix it with some of the color, just to kind of deepen some of the colors in some areas. Also, because the iridescent paint is gonna give me that shine. I don't think you can see it that or appreciate it that well on the video, but if you see it, there's a shine to the areas where I drag the paint that makes it really, really lovely. So to finish this, I actually, what I did is I mixed a little bit of the watercolor marker with some of the iridescent paint, and that gave me like a pastel tone of the color, and I loved it. So I add some splatters through, I'm gonna say color block the splatters, so yellow splatters on yellow, orange on orange, and so on. But because it has that pastel look, it doesn't overpower the background, and then you see them, but they don't take, and I'm a fan of splatters, and they don't look like out of place. They don't like stick out, and I love it. So I'm gonna set it aside to dry. And because it's such a thin application of the pigment and there's very little water, it took no time to put together. Overall, this layout, I had 57 minutes of footage, and that was from start to finish. Now, to continue my layout, I am actually want to bring some shine, more shine to the layout. For that, I am gonna mix some iridescent glaze, 3 parts of iridescent glaze to 1 part of gold glaze. I want to lighten up the gold glaze, and I mix them, and I'm gonna spread them on my little sheet of acrylic. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use my stencil brush to create an impression on my page. I'm using one of the color Kaleidoscope stencils, but you're going to see how I am actually, sorry, going to create the impression so that it looks like the circles are fading into the background. And all it's going to take is how much pressure you apply to your brush when you're creating the impression. So in some areas, I added a little bit more pressure to my brush when I'm doing the circular motion, and that's going to give me, I'm going to say, a richer definition of the circle. So it's going to define it and also kind of darken the circle. And then in some areas where I go really lightly, I add very little pressure when I'm doing the circular motion, and that just creates kind of a shadow of the impression. And then it gives you the look that as if the background is fading, or the circles are fading on the background, which I love how this turned out. Again, to finish this, I'm just gonna dilute some of the glaze that I have left over and just add a few more splatters of that gold, and I'm gonna set it aside to dry. This takes no time to dry because it's such a thin application. While that is drying, I am gonna go ahead and start building layers of paper behind the picture. And for this, I am using papers from the Color Kaleidoscope collection. I went for something that had yellows and greens just to contrast the colors that I have on the background. But I'm gonna add that piece and the B side of the rainbow heart paper just to bring, like, to accent everything. And I'm gonna add some foam adhesive behind it because I want to make sure that it's propped from the background. Then after that, I have these leafy frames from the ephemera pack, and I'm gonna use them to create a cluster on the picture. You're going to see that I'm going to add one towards the left of the picture, and then I'm going to use part of the frame on the right hand side of the picture, the top right hand corner, and I'm just going to create a cluster there. Now the only thing that you're not going to see is because my battery died in the camera along the way, is that I actually added one of the big you know, the sticker book has at the beginning of the sticker book, there's a sheet that comes with a set of stickers that look like already were layered. So I'm going to use a big one that had the big holographic heart for that corner. And then I'm also, that's about it. And then I'm going to start, you're going to see the rest. I'm adding some of the flowers from last week's project that I had left over, and that hand that says I love you, because I thought it was perfect for this layout. And then I'm just going to add it and then glue it, make sure that it's secure on my layout. Now for the title, I am using the word colorful, and this comes from the puffy stickers from collection. And then I'm using these little alphas from Paige Evans collection a couple collections ago, because I thought I wanted to spell the word selfie. After that, I'm going to take advantage of the banners. I have quite a few left. I haven't used them, just to create movement on this layout. And for that, I am using these little circles. It looks like pom-poms, but it has all the colors that I'm using, and also the holographic banner, just to like create that kind of wavy motion on the layout. After that, you're going to see that I'm going to bring a few more accents and bring in a few more of the puffy hearts. I debated about actually framing the entire layout with some paper, but the more I play with the idea, I thought it was going to take away from what I have inside. So I'm going to opt for leaving it white. Instead, I'm going to add my Lensu journal and add a few more round elements, because circles are something that are repeated in the background and also in some of the shapes in the layout. So I'm going to add a few more of the puffy stickers and some lines of journal. Some of the puffy stickers, I think especially that exclamation mark, it moves from the top of the layout towards the bottom of the layout. But that's about it. I love how this turned out. Like I said before, from beginning to end, I had 57 minutes of footage with drawing time. So it took no time to put together. I love how it turned out. Honestly, it's fun, it's colorful, it screams summer, and it's actually a really cute memory of my summer last year. And I hope you try it. If you have any questions on how this came together, don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to help you. Remember to check out Vicki's stuff. Her new collection is shipping already, so make sure you check that out. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, and take care. Bye bye.